Hey guys, this is another episode of Startup Stories. Startup Stories is a collaboration between Negozju and Malta Startup Space, where we reached out to the community to get startup founders and entrepreneurs onto the podcast and create some more interaction in the ecosystem. It's amazing that today we have an expat here with us on Startup Stories. And I personally feel very passionate about that. I think expats have a very important role to play in the startup space of Malta. And I'm very excited to be talking with Joa. And I do hope that through this initiative, we're able to help integrate expat entrepreneurs with other Maltese, and we'll also ask you to see a bit how your experience has been like in Malta. So welcome, Joa. How are you today?
Fine, thank you very much for having me here. It's a pleasure to discuss a bit about how are things and about also our startup.
Awesome. So I mean, if you were Maltese, I wouldn't ask this, but I'd like to know where did you grow up?
So I am from Peru. That's my home country. But when I was little, I moved to Costa Rica. So I grew up in Costa Rica, and then I moved to France, Argentina, then came back to France, and then I came back to Peru a bit. So it's a bit of a mix, and now I'm in Malta for a couple of years now.
And Joa is actually one of the founders of Boom Malta. Or is the whole team, or you were from Peru, or you some? Or?
No, so mainly the team comes from different countries in South America. So the three operative guys here are Juan, he's from Colombia, Martin, he's from Uruguay, and myself, I'm from Peru, and the other co-founder is from France. But he lives in Germany.
That's quite a multinational team. Do you find any advantages to that?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the fact that we have to discuss different ideas, and also our markets are global. That's we tend to go global. So it's very important to have different nationalities and discuss, because we never see things as the same way. And cultural approach is one of the factors of business success. For me, it's very clear. Of course, with my personal story, I've been living abroad and been an expat all my life. So I think it's very, very important. But myself, I am always discussing these new approaches with people. So it's great. And also within the team, we have 10 different nationalities within Boom Malta. So that's also very encouraging.
Well, you are actually in the travel to study industry. So of course that makes it very, very useful for you to have the different backgrounds. Before we get to some more questions about Boom Malta, which I think your business model is quite innovative in a market that has existed for a very long time in Malta.
Yeah.
But what actually got you to Malta?
So in the beginning, I came here for my honeymoon. So with my ex-wife, this was the place that we decided to explore, to discover. We wanted to go to a place with a lot of history that we'd never been before. And for us, Malta was the perfect choice, and we really enjoyed our time here. We fell in love with the country, and we said, maybe someday we will move to Malta. And then it got quicker than we thought, because we really like the vibe here, international atmosphere of Malta, the business opportunities when we studied it. And also I decided to study an MBA here. So that was another of the reasons why we chose Malta, because we saw that there were a lot of factors, and this one was also a very important one.
Okay, that's a nice angle that you take to it. What about Boom Malta? So tell us in a summary what Boom Malta is about.
Yeah, so when I was studying this MBA program, it's a UK diploma based in Malta. I met my business partner and co-founder Juan. And we discussed a bit about the lack of services that us as students, were to find. We needed to find a lot of different services, like housing, activities for students, etc. And there was not enough offer. But also, I take my personal experience, because I've been a international student all my life. I went to primary school in Costa Rica, and that was a foreign school. I did university in France. I did an exchange program in Argentina. those are foreign countries for me. And also here, Juan was a student in Spain before. So not only in Malta, but throughout our international experience, we figured out that there were a lot of elements missing, on the scene. And discussing this with our environment, which were all also students, we realized that maybe we could build this platform that offers students services, an agile platform that allows them to plan the trip, find housing, activities, etc. So that was the main reason why we decided to start this company, because we saw the opportunity there. It was very clear for us.
Obviously, you're scratching your own itch as an entrepreneur, something you had experience with and you delved into. How did you think about advantages? So how did you what did you come up with that's different to what already existed?
Yeah, so this is a very old industry. It has in Malta it has 50 years, and Malta is one of the biggest markets in the world for English studies. And now it's getting very well positioned with higher education as well. So this brings you an environment of traditional agencies that are here for a lot of time. And these agencies have, traditional structures with offices in the countries of origin, with very structured plans, etc. But now the community is more agile, more, nomad. And it's not at all the same interests and the same needs. For instance, regarding visa processes, which is one of the key aspects when you decide to relocate, the facility where you can get a proper visa. We needed to explain that Malta is a welcoming country, for foreigners, not non-EU foreigners, because of course EU do not need a visa. But this information wasn't anywhere to find. When we were trying to do this decision to move to Malta, it was very hard to find information about a visa process. Even if you write to Identity Malta, they reply with very bureaucratic replies, which are, good because they're clear, but not everyone understands this language and not everyone can reach out to these kind of institutions. So we need to be this bridge, that facilitates things with a very agile model, offering the possibility to grab a coffee with somebody in South America and discussing Malta with someone that has already been here, that has already experienced a student life in Malta. This model doesn't exist. So we saw this opportunity to create this kind of bridge, and it's working great.
So when did you actually launch?
So we launched in November 2019.
And obviously COVID came around,
Yeah.
but have you had any success since you've launched?
Yes, of course. So, by March, we were already reaching break even. So that was amazing for us on 10 first days of March 2020. And then, of course, COVID, the airports closed, schools went online. So it was a major disruption of the industry. And we didn't want to just sit and see our failure. We took this opportunity to rethink the business model, be focused on what we needed to do, reduce costs, create a very effective structure, and go for fundraising. That might seem crazy in the middle of the pandemic, but we managed to bring 3 investors in May, June 2020, and with no certainty at all that we could see any profit nearly, or it was just a crazy feeling, But we took this opportunity to really rethink all the business model. And now, schools reopen. Now they're closed, but it's a momentary thing. But for the past 6 months, schools have been open. And we have been growing a lot more than expected, actually, and reaching and surpassing our goals. So the scenario is great with an efficient structure. Malta is a great country because it allows you to really go worldwide. We are focused on Latin America, but it's such an international country that you can build a very scalable model from Malta. That's why I think it's great to the business here.
Networking in Malta seems to be quite easy. Or did you find it the same?
Yeah, for sure. We were trying to reach out to key stakeholders. This is one of the differences that we want to bring to the market, like information coming from the sources. So, for instance, we tried to reach out to Alex Muscat, which is the Parliamentary Secretary for Citizenship and Communities. And to our surprise, because we didn't know him, he replied and he was very open to give us an interview and explain about the different possibilities that Malta has to offer for foreigners, even specifically for the Latin American community. And this was great because we had information of this exciting nomad visa that is coming, that suits the needs of our customers very well. And you need this kind of information from official sources so you can encourage people to make the right decision, because it's not a decision that you make from one day to another, to move to a different country in another continent. You have to meditate about it. You have to weigh the different aspects. Malta has competitors: Ireland, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, the United States, Canada, a lot of competitors. So you need to really highlight what is good. And also, when we were engaging with the English language teaching scenario, we reached out to the CEO of the ELT Council, and this was very easy, and she received us in the Ministry of Education. So, for reaching stakeholders and creating this valuable network, I think Malta is a unique place. I'm not talking about entrepreneurs here, I'm just talking about, key stakeholders within the government, but then also the business and the international community in Malta. Everyone is friendly, open. It's a great place to meet new people and expand your horizons.
So I feel like I am maybe a bit in touch with the startup community that are Maltese, but I feel like I'm still dipping my toes in meeting other expat entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. Have you met a lot of other business owners that are from Spain, from Peru?
Yeah, there are quite a few. Yeah, of course. It's not hard. Actually, you don't know that they're entrepreneurs, but then you're just having a beer at a random bar and you start speaking with people and they are entrepreneurs. It's very natural. It attracts a lot of young entrepreneurs also. So, it's a vibrant scene. And I believe that it's going to get even better after the pandemic because Malta has taken care. And we're here and we suffer. We suffered this scenario. But if you take into consideration the whole international scenario, I think Malta is in a great position. And things are going to get moving here faster than other places. So, I'm very optimistic in general.
So, before Boom, was there anything else you were working on?
Yeah, of course. I really try to have a lot of busy. I keep myself busy. I have a small consultancy firm on public policy, on health public policy, because my background is I'm a political scientist. That's my background. And I used to work with multinational companies, mining and pharma, Roche, which is a very big Swiss pharma company. And I try to always keep the networks working. So I do consultancy for these, different worlds. And it also allows me to, have insights, very different insights on how things are globally, because these are very global communities. These big pharmaceutical companies, mining companies, etc. They are multinational, so you get to build a very, very international network. I was just before coming here, I was speaking with one high executive from another pharma company that wants to take English classes because he needs it. He's in South America, and he called me and he said, "I know what you're doing in Malta, blah blah blah. So it would be great to know if I can have online lessons from Colombia, and then maybe in October I can go to Malta just, to chill and see the surroundings." So it also brings business opportunities, having these different environments.
Here's a question which maybe is a bit personal, but do you think people automatically like you? And if so, why?
I don't know. I have this mentor in my life because it's very important, to have mentors. And he told me he went to Malta. He came to Malta in February 2020, before the pandemic. He actually invested in the company. Well, this is one of the investors. And he told me, okay, so this project is great. What are you thinking for the next step? Why are you asking me this? I'm just starting with this. But he told me, your passion is networking. So you should do something about it, because it has a lot of opportunities within, the fiber of networking. And it's very global. So it got me thinking. And for sure, with your question, I think it's something that I naturally do, because I like people. I like speaking with people and learning new things. But I'm still trying to figure out what can be done in a business perspective out of it. I think that this company, Boom Malta, is already doing something about networking. And if you try to scale it up, with different communities, for sure there is something. But probably Malta is one of the best places, because it's a small island, but you have people from all over the world, and everybody is open to discuss. So I'm still thinking about it, but it's exactly your point. I think it's just natural, and I really love it. And also all the other business partners, Juan, Martin, etc., they also bring a great network. They also have great international experiences. And it's very rich to work with these guys, because they're always challenging you and opening new doors and new opportunities. So, I really love what we're doing as a team.
You touched on digital nomads a bit. That's an area that really interests me. And I was wondering what you think about Malta as a digital nomad destination compared to maybe the more popular ones right now of Portugal. And
It's very good that Malta is working right now on this visa, nomad visa, because it's something that you will need if you are not an EU citizen. And, if you take into consideration markets like the United States or Canada, where there are a lot of entrepreneurs, of course, they have the choice now in Barbados or, Caribbean islands. They have these schemes and, it's close to them, etc. But if you really want to attract a very global community, you have to create these conditions-based conditions. The quality of life here is great. It has history. It has landscapes. It's very well connected to the world. So it can be a great potential, for Malta to position as one hotspot for digital nomads. And also the government, something that you have to do when you're in charge of a country, that you have to invest in these kind of things, that they are not going to happen like this. You need to invest and you need to create conditions for people to come. But I think that the natural conditions are already here. And I'm pleased to see that they're working on it. So,
So from this initiative that we've done, the startup stories, we've already got to see some of the people participating through the blogs on the startupgateway.com website. Have any of those projects interested you?
Yes, of course. The first one that got posted in the group, Chits, it's a very nice...
Chitso.
Yeah, Chitso. It's a very nice project that, it brings events and cultural life. So, it goes very well with what we're doing at Boom, because it's something complementary. So we will engage with those guys for sure. And so just creating these spaces is you're doing a big favor to the startup community, because even now that it's COVID, you cannot go anywhere. It's very difficult to engage with new people.
True.
So if you create this online awareness, it's a way of creating networks, of course. So, for me, it's fantastic. We'll engage with these guys, and I'm eager to see what other initiatives are happening, around.
Yeah, if you have any ideas, feel free to share.
No. There's a lot of things going on, but what I mean is there have to be these spaces of showing, where you can really present a project or
get feedback.
Advice, exactly.
That's it. That's the whole goal with what we're doing here, is to open up the space to people in a way where you're not afraid to give feedback and receive feedback, criticism, advice, new networks, new contacts.
No, it's necessary. I mean, to expose and when you're a startup, you need to change a lot of things because you learn, you know. So you have to be agile. You have to learn and change, and feedback from other partners. It's the best.
That's it. You have a final message for everybody out there or listening?
Yeah, but I mean, I would like to say something about Boom, of course. I really think that Malta is a great destination for studying English and higher education. You just have to know a bit better what the country is offering. But it's not just for studying English or following a higher education program. It's about changing your life perspectives and be on a very welcoming scenario. So I think that if you have any curiosity, try to log on to boommalta.com and just see what we have. But also support a bit the startups that are already here in Malta, because it's very difficult. You know, it's always when you're a startup, it's difficult, and you need the support from the community. So between the startups, it's good that we support each other. So I mean, I know that your podcast is very well positioned among entrepreneurs, and for me, it's great to have the possibility to create a network. So if you want to reach out, just reach out, and we will have a coffee and discuss.
Or maybe a beer when things are opened up. And
allowed, for sure.
Good. Okay, guys. So that was another episode of the Startup Stories. Today we had Joa from Boom Malta. Looking forward to the next one. Always a pleasure to get in touch with people from the community. So feel free to reach out if you ever want to get in touch for a chat. Thanks for watching, and good night or good morning.